Here's how we edit 25 plus podcast episodes without a single late delivery. I guess I won't need a script for that. Okay, behind that transparent door, what you can see is a guy or two working on their computers at the moment. But what you don't see, I've spent enormous amount of money, resources, time, and dedication, and you name it, just to build this podcast post-production agency. I won't go into the nitty-gritty that how I made this company and all that stuff, but we'll stick to the topic, which is how we edit that many number of podcasts in a month without a single late delivery. And the first one that I would like to talk about is the systems. We have managed to spend enough time and bought enough resources and trained our team enough that we now have dedicated team members for each segment of the podcast post-production process. So whenever we get the data from the client, the first thing that we do is that those files goes to our podcast manager. He takes the data and he then analyzes it. Based on that, he creates a project brief. Videos and audio channels are used in this podcast. Do we have a backup audio channel, or what are the resources that we get from the client, their brand assets and everything? And then that podcast manager assigns the podcast to the content curator. Now here's begin the most important part. The content curator has the most responsible job in the office, if I'm not wrong, because what he does is basically he listens to the whole podcast and find out the part that has a potential to perform well as a trailer, or that would spark enough curiosity for the viewer while they are watching the podcast trailer. So his job is, in my opinion, is the most important one. In this process, the content curator hands over the timestamps or the markers he left on the timeline towards the animation guy. Now this is where the trailers gets more spicier, gets more tightened up, and get more detailing in terms of storytelling. Because if two persons are just talking and there's not enough resources or enough graphics or animations to support what they've been talking about, the trailer will kind of feel like empty. They kind of feel like very basic until and unless you run a Joe Rogan type of podcast. And the podcast manager assigns the part that animator has to make animations of, what places and what timestamps does the typography go, and then at the same time the sound design team works on the sound and also the SFX. So these three processes are going simultaneously right after, once the sound designing, the typography and the animation is done, all the resources come back towards the podcast manager. Then have a look at it, see if things are working or not. The benefit of working in a physical space is that they get to collaborate together and fix things more quickly rather than working at a remote job. Our systems are very smooth. Everybody has a dedicated job, so they know what they are up to. Remote jobs cannot replace the kind of productivity that a podcast post-production agency would have physically or like in person. The benefit of being on site. So that gives an unfair advantage over all the remote podcast agencies, because we are sitting in an office in a different departments in a different room, but we are sitting at the same place. We come at the same time, we leave at the same time, we eat together, we pray together, and then we work together. So that gives us the opportunity to come see the other department, track their progress, collaborate a bit more efficiently. On top of that, there's me. I look up to all the departments and see if the timeline is being met or not. We have managed to update our equipment enough that we now have sufficient industry-leading GPUs and rendering equipments, everything that a podcast post-production house would need. Growth mindset. Yes, you heard that right. You might be thinking, okay, that's not much relevant. Let's skip that part. But hold on for a minute. This is the most important part. What I basically do is that I'll motivate my team. I make sure that everybody comes with the right energy. We could not only provide for our families, but we take clients seriously and we contribute towards the client success. That's our main goal. I'll try to make sure that in our office, we try to come up with great energy and we work with productivity. We work at a very limited work hours. We take enough sleep. We go to workouts. We always have one day for physical activity, which is mostly swimming. In the summer season, we go to swimming every Saturday. So yeah, I think in my opinion, these four things combined are the reasons that we always achieve to deliver high quality 25 plus podcast episodes every single month. And definitely we are growing. We have our internship program going on, in which we are currently training about 4 new people in the team, and they have been getting trained. It's been their 3rd month, and their progress is doing so good that we feel that they would be contributing towards our sound, animation and typography department in a couple of days. So if you are a PR, marketing or a creative agency looking to hand over their podcast post-production work, go check out the first link in the description, where you'll find out not only our portfolio but also our client success stories. And yeah, I'll see you on the other side.